All right, this is a Karen Reed trial update. Right now it's 10:52. We are, courthouse is right across the street, and the jury has a question. So the jury has come back in. I was down covering the protesters. I couldn't get inside on time, but we are going to be able to bring it to you live right now with what the question is. So I was interviewing some of the protesters earlier. We're going to post that as well. And for right now, we're going to bring you a. Oh, okay. All right. So this is big. The judge is now going to be giving the jury Tui Rodriguez instructions. Okay. So this is very significant. Judge Cannone, folks, this is breaking news. Extraordinary jury said the judge, David Yaneti, indicates they have sent out a note expressing fundamental differences. Judge agrees with defense. It's time for her to give the Tui Rodriguez instruction, also known as the dynamite instruction. So right now, this is big. Right now, on this Monday, July 1st, the judge is in fact, and I'm quoting Jonathan Hall of Channel 7, this is a huge development. This is now, the judge is now, with the Karen Reed trial, the jury says they are still deadlocked. Now, I was in there this morning. The foreman, for the first time, is wearing a tie. The jury seemed a little bit the same. They remain deadlocked in the Karen Reed trial, right across the street. Let me just show you, just so you have an understanding. There is, you can see the media gathered on the sidewalk outside as everyone is gathering. So this is, again, very significant right now regarding this instruction. So, and I want to, this is all just coming down. And then there's been some good reporting on the jury is deadlocked. Judge Cannone says she's never seen a note like the one she just received. That's interesting. She's going to give the Tui Rodriguez instruction. Now, let me get to, I know that, and again, we're live right now. So, and you'll be able to see, this will be interesting when in fact, the, let me turn it around because I want to get you and show you. Bear with me, folks. Hold on one moment, and we're going to flip it. There I am. Oh. Okay. I'm going to go like this, so then you can see the courthouse. I'll tilt it down. When they're going to come out. So this is a huge change, and I want to, yes. Okay. Okay, let me get to this. Tui Rodriguez, if the jury comes back to the judge, all right, let me jump back on. Okay, here you see, that's Peg O'Keefe coming into the courthouse right now. If the jury comes back a second time, can't reach a verdict, could send them back, continue, probably give them some instruction. The Tui Rodriguez instruction will read to them. When you listen to those instructions, it pretty much tells them they're the best people to make the decision. It gives them some encouragement, or it's supposed to. They're the ones who should decide the case. After that, it becomes the question if she keeps sending them back. It's a really long instruction. The key phrase, the jury sitting now is the best group to decide the case because they've heard all the evidence, they've heard all the facts. So that's where we're at right now. So that's why you see all the media that has now gathered in front of the courthouse. And again, I want to come back to where we are right now is the judge, right now at 10:57, the judge has in fact ordered, we're going to stay right here live with you, but this is a huge developing story. Now, this does appear that they are deadlocked. It does appear that they're deadlocked. Now, the judge is trying to encourage them, but she has now given them, instructed them, the Tui Rodriguez instruction, basically telling them, listen, I know you're at an impasse, but you're still the best group of people to decide this. So this is where we are at. And again, you can, I see some, there's Anthony Santos. They may not. There's Ann. Yes. Too much to get into at the moment. Right now, we're just doing an update. Let me go through some other people. The O'Keefe family has re-entered the courtroom. I'm a little surprised that the jury came back in and they were not in the courtroom. I think that's the first time that that has happened. The judge will give them the dynamite charge to try to spark, trying to get this jury united. The Tui Rodriguez instruction. The jury says they are still deadlocked. I am not surprised. All right, so I want to, folks, again, you're watching. We are live, obviously, clearly outside the courtroom. Share that you are watching. Thumbs up if you like the coverage. Let me go here. I will have footage of the O'Keefe family supporters, and they're the anti, whatever you want to call them. Let me just check exactly what's happening. Let's try here. Very significant. Indeed, you're going to still see a lot of the Free Karen Read people, obviously, floating around. Okay, so the camera's not on them. I can tell you, as you can imagine, security is heightened today. I mean, it's been heightened, but now it's really heightened. So many people floating around. They do have the O'Keefe family supporters that are here. Yes. So I did see the jury when they came in and out this morning, and then I went down to cover the John O'Keefe family supporters. So I was then unable to get back inside the courthouse. I mean, I could go in right now, but I think it'd be more significant right now to just stay right here for the moment. And we'll stay live. The judge says they've done due and thorough deliberations. Calls the jury extraordinary, says Katie Benoit of NBC 10. She's never seen a note like this one. Never seen a note like that. Makes me scratch my head. Huh. Judge now asking both sides how they want to proceed. Lally says they need to keep going. Yannetti says it's time to give the jury the dynamite, which they did. Okay. Ted Daniels reporting we should hear the content of the note they sent to the judge shortly when the jury's brought back in. So that's interesting. Folks, and as we had talked earlier, we just wonder how much effect all of these Free Karen Read supporters have had. You know, and look to the right, there's all the pink shirts are everywhere. There's supposed to be a buffer zone, but they roam all over the place. And, you know, they come where I'm standing to use the bathroom, and then they go all over. So they walk into town. I get that. Get coffee, get something to eat, get some lunch, and so forth. They are down there to the right. But I am very curious. That's interesting that the judge is saying that she's never seen a note like this before, but it would fit with the unusual nature of this trial. We're going to stay right here. I'm tempted to go in, but we'll just stay right here. Good afternoon, Ms. Paula. Well, still good morning. I don't know about riots. I mean, I don't know how they're going to react if there's no verdict. Oh. So I do also want to point out, and I don't blame them, the police are stepping it up. There are many people, they are driving and then they stop and they film right in front of the courthouse. So they're cutting down on that, like get off your phone, stop doing that, just keep going. Surprised there has been an accident, a collision. I want to, once again, the Massachusetts State Police have been excellent. Not an easy assignment here. Week 9 weeks. So, yes, thank you, Ian. So, there's a good group there today, I'll say that. They have a large number down there. It's not as big as it was Tuesday, but there's still a lot of people to the right in the buffer zone. Yep. All right, we're going to stay right here until then. We're going to see her come out. So the judge is trying to get a verdict here. Well, I shouldn't say that. Trying to convince them. But here's the thing. I want to hear what's in that note, and if the jury is basically saying that, oh, good. There's our friend from ABC6. I want to hear that raises a lot of questions. What's in the note? Huh. Let me see Christina. Christina WBZ. Excellent. Let me just check this. Let's see. Okay, Judge Cannone gave the instruction to the jury. Judge gave the instruction to Emmanuel Lopez, second trial. This is Christina Rex at WBZ. After they were deadlocked, they came back with a verdict the next day and convicted Lopes of the murder of Sergeant Michael Chesnut. That was just a month ago. So that's Christina. Let's see if she has anything else. Judge has not read the question aloud, but it appears the jury's still deadlocked. She did ask whether the jury has conducted due and thorough deliberations. Prosecutor ADA Adam Lally wants the jury to continue deliberating, does not feel that 23 hours spent has been enough. David Yannetti feels it's time for an instruction known as the Tui Rodriguez instruction. The jury wrote in the note, it has fundamental disagreements in its opinions on the case after reviewing evidence. I think that's very interesting. Judge is going to give the jury the Tui Rodriguez instruction. Remind of what that is. Judge will give last resort instruction. So this is the last resort instruction. If the jury still hung after that mistrial, Judge's note says in part, despite our commitment, this is Christina Rex at WBZ, despite our commitment to the duty entrusted to us, we find ourselves deeply divided by fundamental differences in our opinion and state of mind. Consensus is unattainable. We recognize the weight of this admission and the implication it holds. Consensus, boy, there's the headline, unattainable. Wow. Now, it was after the judge got that note that then she basically then instructed them, judge giving the Tui Rodriguez instruction, Ted Daniel, dynamite charge, deeply divided, fundamental differences. And here's the line, folks. This is the headline. Census is unattainable. Consensus. It says census. He means consensus. All right, that's not my fault. I'm reading it. Is Chafee here with the metric system? It's consensus is unattainable. The clerk told me the judge will have to declare must trial if they come back again after this without a verdict. So maybe this is going to be after lunch. Wow. So this is big. I believe the word is consensus. Yeah. Census, no, it's consensus, is unattainable. Jonathan Hall, Channel 7. Jury note, views on the evidence have diverged. Foreman wrote jurors recognize the weight, just what I said. Okay. Let's see. I want to give credit again. I've praised her in the past, Christina at WBZ. Let me just see this. Okay, the jury's being sent back for deliberations one last time. Here it is. This is the note from the jury. You're seeing it. Despite our commitment to the duty entrusted us, we find ourselves deeply divided by fundamental differences in our opinion, state of mind. The divergence of our views are not rooted in a lack of understanding or effort, but deeply held convictions, each of which carry, ultimately leading to a point where consensus is unattainable. We recognize the weight of this admission and the implication it holds. So it sounds like that what is going on inside the courtroom is what has been the feeling outside the courtroom. Is Matt Johnson of Court TV. In green, that is a new reporter from WPRI, I think. I don't know. I think so. Folks, again, this is the courthouse, so it's going to be a few minutes. But then Karen Reed does sound like that. Now, the thing is, the judge has to declare mistrial. Now, I don't believe the judge wants to declare mistrial. I think the judge is going to all options, but that note sounds pretty definitive. I think that is the line. And it, it also, oh, here they come. There's Alan Jackson. There's Karen Reed. You're seeing them right now. There they are, leaving the courthouse and learning that they avoided the media. There goes Alan. There's the security team. There's Karen Reed, David Yannetti. I noticed Craig is not with them today. I don't know if we should read anything into that. So there they go. There goes Karen Reed, Alan Jackson, David Yannetti. There's Daniel Coates of Boston 25. So folks, there they go. So they go around now. And then there's the Reed parents on the steps. When she goes over to the buffer zone, then you'll hear some cheers break out. But again, I want to repeat, this is, let me just set this. Okay, now folks, again, what really stands out to me is the fact and again, good morning, everyone. I hope you've liked the coverage, enjoy the coverage. I think just the line that stands out is consensus is unattainable. Judge said she's never received a jury note like this before. Consensus is unattainable. And it's not through a lack of understanding, but, and this is the jury note now, deeply held convictions that each of us carry, ultimately leading to a point that consensus is not attainable. So I think I think that says a lot. I think it says a lot that they are interpreting this differently, and the beliefs that they have are different here. And as we've said, it's been, as you know, very, very extraordinary trial. It does not sound that way. But what I think is interesting about that is this is not about guilty or innocent, if you will. You think of some views that people have where they fundamentally, you would never agree, such as, I'm going to throw out an example, the death penalty. There could be, if you have 12 people and the topic is the death penalty, if you have some people, whatever the number is, and fundamentally they are just absolutely against capital punishment, then it doesn't matter what the evidence is going to be. They're fundamentally against it. And that's what it seems has broken down here. You can hear the crowd cheering over in the buffer zone for when Karen Reed is arriving back there. They use a facility at the church. So I think that is the most striking. And I don't recall, and I'll have to talk to some other legal experts, but another case like this, where they're based, well, not in the case of what is basically a fatal hit and run death resulting. So, I mean, this sounds almost like a case headed for, that we hear about, like the Supreme Court trying to decide, right? As far as some kind of a controversial issue that needs to be decided. That's what it sounds like. There are some people in the jury that are saying, this is not, it's not that we don't understand the evidence. We have a fundamental disagreement on how we're interpreting it. This has been part of the problem. And this has also been part of the PR campaign from the defense, right? Where even though an expert gets up there and says, there is no way Jen McCabe Googled at 2:27, you have other people that say, oh, I believe that she, that type of thing, that she did. John O'Keefe, the defense never was able to get him in the house. But if you have people that say, I still think he went in the house, even though there's no witness that testified that, and they never had the evidence to show him in the house, that's a fundamental disagreement. It also could come down to witnesses. If there are people, for instance, just as an example, that say, I don't believe police. I think police lie. That's not evidence being presented across the street. These are fundamental disagreements that these people are bringing into it. So again, right now at 11:16, breaking news, they are saying they are deadlocked. So what I believe is going to happen here is they're going to keep deliberating. It doesn't sound like it's going to go anywhere, but then they'll have lunch, 1 to 2. And it sounds like this afternoon, the judge is going to have to make a decision. So after this, she has given them the dynamite charge, as they call it. But I think, and the judge, to her credit, said she's never seen a note like this, where I think what really stands out about the note is the jury note saying, it's not that we don't understand the evidence. We have fundamental disagreements on this, that we will never see consensus. And by the way, I can actually understand that. If I was in the jury room and there were 2 jurors saying Jen McCabe Googled at 2:27 in the morning, house long to die in the cold. That is something I could never agree to. I would never, just personally, I could never agree 1 + 1 is 3, right? That I could never say, let's find some common ground here. The world is flat. The world is not flat. The world is round. So there are some, I can understand what is some of the disagreements here, and whether it's on witness testimony, or someone that insists the Google search. I think that would be a big one, that if someone feels that way. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break right now. I want to find out, see what I can find out. Again, you're watching our live coverage. Now, I will be back, and we're going to be live from 12 to 1 right here for our noon report. Again, repeating the breaking news, the judge has given the jury what they call, for lack of a better, the dynamite charge. This is it. They're sent back. They sent the judge a note. We do not have consensus. They don't feel they will find consensus. And it leads me to believe, finally, before I sign off on this, and I was telling this to Julie Grant this morning on Court TV, I believe that a number, now we don't know, I should say, but a number of the jurors either misrepresented how they felt, and they're actually part of the Free Karen Read movement, or more importantly, they're so blown away about what this thing has turned into that they have decided, I don't want to be part of this. I don't want to be part of this. I never signed up for this. They could have a spouse or family member say, my God, you're going to put all of us in jeopardy. You're going to, we have people follow, whatever it may be, fear that they don't want to face the consequences of that. I don't know. But I think it could be leading towards that. Someone said, okay, I don't know that much. Remember the jurors, I don't know that much about the case. I think I could make a decision here. And then it's like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? So that's what I think could be going on, where a member of the jury are like, okay, like stop the world, I want to get off. I can't be part of this anymore. This is way more than I signed on for. And so therefore, I'll never agree. I'll never agree. Or it's fundamental differences within this. And as I've said, if you believe that Jen McCabe, 5th grade teacher, mother of 4, friend of John O'Keefe, if you believe that she was lying in bed at 2:27 a.m. saying, casually looking at a basketball program at one of her daughters was going to be, and then say, I'm curious. I wonder how long before John's going to freeze to death on my brother-in-law's lawn. If you believe that, then I don't, that's a fundamental disagreement. If someone is saying, I believe those are dog bites on the arm, I don't know where to go. If you still believe he entered the house, even though there's been no evidence and no witness put him inside. So I could see where there's no common ground with certain elements of the Karen Read trial. All right, folks, again, thank you. Make sure you follow the page. We're going to be back 12 o'clock, the latest now. This is it. Certainly seems though something is happening today. Right now, the jury is deliberating. Then they'll have lunch, maybe come back at the end of the day, and then the judge may declare mistrial. All right, Sean DePietro, thank you everybody for tuning in.